these people have helped get Seton Yamaha onto the grid for this race. And off the line, Graham Gowland really pushes the Yamaha R6 over the hilltop, but not hard enough. He gets swallowed up into the pack. It's a good start by the championship leader, Alistair Seeley, as they plunge downhill. Now up Halewood Hill, fan out into Druids. Gowland looking underneath, but it's Jason O'Halloran finally grabbing the advantage and leading possibly for the first time all year, but only briefly on the Samsung Honda, because as they drop down into Graham Hill Bend, it's Gowland who snatches back the advantage. Tooth and nail down the bottom straight, down the Cooper straight, and back goes the Samsung Honda on sheer power. It drives itself back to the front. So Australian O'Halloran ahead of Northumbrian Gowland. Stuart Easton, the Scotsman, in third place. Glenn Richards, a sparkling start from the third row of the grid, and he's got the Smiths Triumph through into fourth ahead of Alistair Seeley and Taylor Mackenzie having his best qualification on the Taiko Suzuki. But look at this, Gowland, sheer aggression and blazing elbows, pushes himself back to the front as they dive down into Dingle Dell.
Yeah, they certainly do. Stuart Easton right behind him, then it's O'Halloran, then you've got Seeley. The big loser on those first few laps is the man on the yellow bike, the Cup rider, Jake Dixon, who's done a brilliant job in third. A little beaten up and a little trapped in those first few corners.
We're on the first lap of 10. This is the start of a very packed Sunday here at Brands Hatch, and the 10-lap sprint race. Once again, O'Halloran gets the Honda into a good... No, it's Stuart Easton gets alongside fellow Yamaha rider Gowland. Gowland late on the brakes, but can't fend off the Flying Scot. And Stuart Easton, former champion, drops downhill. But look at Gowland. He's never going to let that go if he possibly can. On the brakes, hard into Druids on the red and white Seton Yamaha. Behind him, the blue Honda of Jason O'Halloran. Once again, Gowland drives so hard down that hill into Graham Hill Bend. That is impressive, James.
Yeah, he does. And look at them all fanning out, having a good look. No one's actually going to change on. But it is so tight in this class anyway. The top 14 all within a second in qualifying. And as you can see looking down here, it's the top 20 all in a row. Oh, there you go.
Look,
someone's down.
Coming out of exiting Surtees there and up the hill, someone has spun out. I think he's okay. If that's number 94, that'll be Sam Hornsey making his debut with the Oxford Tag Triumph team. So what a shame for this Shropshire lad. He's spun out coming over the hilltop out of Surtees. This is the battle at the front, and Stuart Easton, desperate to make amends for a terrible day at Snetterton, leads the way at the moment from Graham Gowland. And look at Seeley. Seeley squeezes his way underneath O'Halloran, and the wee wizard from Northern Ireland is well and truly on the go on that beautiful bright green Gearlink Kawasaki.
Yeah, this is nice to see Stuart Easton sort of back, because Stuart Easton was really, you know, he was out of sorts at the
edge of a cliff down there, and then up Halewood Hill, and O'Halloran has been just squeezed back out into fourth place. So O'Halloran in fourth place, Taylor Mackenzie having the best ride of his season so far, running fifth ahead of Billy McConnell.
Yeah, this is great stuff from Taylor Mackenzie, as you say.
Driving uphill, and look at this already. Stuart Easton, who looked really good around the Indy circuit here in the opening round of the season, but remember clipped a curb and went down in the second race. Richard Cooper sets the fastest lap, 1:29.69. Believe it or not, the lap record stands to the man in second place now, number 34, Alistair Seeley, an amazing 1:28.085 set in 2011.
And I'll tell you what, Jack, this is going to be a really quick lap from Seeley as well, because he has pulled that little lead. Easton was just starting to creep, but he's pinched nearly all of that back. This will be a quick lap for the man in second spot, number 34, Alistair Seeley.
Billy McConnell and Ben Wilson have got the better of Mackenzie, and Mackenzie's gone down at Stirling. No, it's not Mackenzie. Yes, it is. Taylor Mackenzie. He just lost a couple of places to McConnell and Ben Wilson, and the son of Neil Mackenzie just squeezes a bit too hard into Stirling's, and down he goes. Alistair Seeley now threatening the leader.
Wilson.
Wilson, I was surprised at how poorly Wilson qualified at the back of the second row, but he looks to have found his race pace here, James.
Yeah, no, it did, but it's still so tight, you know. It was 0.4, wasn't he? 0.5 a second off, but, you know, it's 2.4 miles long, but he's such a racer. That's it, where he really excels, and he's just slipped up now into fifth spot. The man on the, you know, the second of the Kawasaki's, Gearlink Kawasaki's there, just moving up, and now he'll shortly be on to be able to have a look at Jason O'Halloran in front of him. There it is, There is McKenny. I mean, he's been gutted, but these, yeah, it happens. Now, watch the bike. It's just behind his pictures, just behind the Kawasaki. Watch it there now. It loses the front, carrying a little bit too much front brake, a little bit too much turn. But, you know, lucky for Taylor, he's perfectly okay. And, you know, you'll live and learn from that. He'll get up and have another go. But all the while, these last couple of races, we've seen Taylor really improving. So that's excellent.
The leader, Stuart Easton. Second place, Alistair Seeley, the championship leader. Right behind him, we've got that battle as we got a 1:29.083, precisely a second outside his lap record. And that is Alistair Seeley laying down a possible pole position, of course, for the second Supersport race later this afternoon.
Well, we thought
Gowland holding on strongly in third. That's what their team desperately wants to try and get, James, so that they can attract a sponsor to get them to the next round at Alton Park in 3 weeks. A podium finish, that would be mint. But at the moment, he's going to be under pressure because Wilson forces his way past inside Jason O'Halloran, and Wilson goes fastest, 1:28.601, and he's going to put the pressure now on that season-tuning Yamaha.
Yeah, that's the fastest lap of the race, gone to Ben Wilson, a 1:28.6. So, yeah, Ben Wilson really piling on the pressures now, and you get the feeling that Gowland's going to be counting his number soon, because, well, Wilson just looks on the case.
Graham Gowland, who's finished consistently between 4th and 6th right through the season. He just desperately wants to make that final step.
Absolutely, and we want to see him make it, don't we? You know, he's just got that little bit. You know, he's qualified, but his first pole, and he's been thereabouts. But he's just got to try and go with these guys in the latter part of the race. We're at halfway distance. Remember, it's just a little short sprint race, 10 laps. So he's got to, Gowland really got to try and dig in and try and really give it back to them as well.
So Yamaha, Kawasaki are the front four, with O'Halloran, Samsung, Honda running fifth. Look at Wilson laid on it through the Sheen curve, absolutely laying down the rubber. It's all that you expect from the former sand racer from Lincolnshire.
And it's worth pointing out that, you know, I'm just going to have a little mention for the first cut rider, Jake Dixon, in 8th. He's just 2 seconds off, and, you know, he's been doing a wonderful job. Son of Darren Dixon, and just really needs, you know, that kid's got a bright future. He's doing a great job there. Here comes Seeley.
And Seeley mastering Stuart Easton, and the little Scot from Hawick suddenly finds himself pushed back to second place on that blue Martrain Yamaha. And look at that move by Seeley to defend his line, and then Stuart responds by trying to right round the outside as they dive down out of Druids. That's clever riding by Seeley.
Yeah,
and Wilson's through. So is O'Halloran, as Wilson forced Graham Gowland aside. Suddenly, he found O'Halloran in there as well. There's Wilson going through.
Little double move there from them both, and this is what I mean when Gowland's really got to start fighting back, you know, because suddenly, you know, we're on lap 6, and he was right there, and he's just been beaten up a little bit. And
he's lost ground quite dramatically.
And if he wants to go with these guys, if he wants to get on the podium, he's got to be really coming out fighting at this point in the race. Look at Wilson. He wasn't trying to pass there. He's just making it awkward. He's just doing different lines. So that was another quickest lap for Wilson, 1:28.4, and he looks hungry. He's got in front of him Stuart Easton and then Alistair Seeley. Look at that lovely little drift through that bit. You saw the black lines, and behind them O'Halloran doing a good job. Then Billy McConnell. Then we've got Dixon, Cooper, Richards and Jones bringing out your top 10.
Really impressed with the way that the third place man here, number 15, Ben Wilson, has regrouped after his disappointing qualifying. He knows, of course, that
he's going to make a move, Jack.
Tyre life is not such an issue in a 10-lap sprint. He's going to go for it full on. Dives underneath Stuart Easton. Now he's got his teammate in his sights.
Oh, Easton squared it off, but I don't think he's going to have the line for the inside. But look at Wilson, and he does. Nice little move there from Easton. He's fighting back, but Wilson's not done yet.
Look at the contrast in riding styles.
And behind them all the time, you've got Jason O'Halloran waiting to pick up the pieces, and Graham Gowland looked like he's regrouped as well on the seat in Yamaha there. So he's having a good look as well. He got a little bit shaky, a bit too much brake on the way in. He's got to square it off. He does get back to the apex so nearly, so that's not cost him anything.
Now the huge dive down Pilgrim's Drop, massive descent under the bridge, and then braking hard uphill into Hawthorne's Bend.
Yeah, what a corner that is. It's one of the truly great corners. It's so fast, and look at that, Gowland's got up the inside, so Gowland's up into 4th. You could see him working that drive, and Easton's obviously back in the front as well. So Easton up the front.
The baby-faced Stuart Easton is really, and Gowland might manage to get back on with these guys. Now we're on the 7th of 10 laps, so there's only 3 laps to go after this.
Yeah, look at Dixon as well. We spoke about Dixon earlier on the Cup rider. He is up to 7th, and he's actually up to 6th, and he looks like he's closing on the back of O'Halloran as well. That man there, you know, on the yellow Yamaha, he's doing a brilliant job.
46, Jake Dixon, local boy, of course, from down the road in Dover.
Here it comes.
As we watch Alistair Seeley versus Wilson.
Let him have it, Ben. He's got it.
The Gearlink team will be on tenterhooks up the hill. Now, that's an interesting line from Stuart Easton. He gives himself a huge, wide entrance into Druids, just maintains corner speed throughout, gets the drive down the hill, and comfortably ahead of Alistair Seeley.
That's amazing, really. Top 9, all within 1.6. And actually, the fastest man on that lap was the reigning champion, Glenn Richards, in 9th spot with a 1:28.4. So look at that. I mean, it shows you how close. He's right on the back of the train of this group. So looks like Easton, though. Easton's got a great drive out of there that lap, and he's just got a couple of tenths lead at a very critical time in the race.
And the gap back to Glenn Richards in 9th is 1.6 seconds. There's Richards with the bright kind of yellow hazard helmet right at the back of
that. Sorry, did you see Wilson there? He got it sideways. You saw the rear sit, push the tyre loads. Hardly cost him anything at all. And look, all the time you see Dixon, look, O'Halloran is just struggling to stay with these. You can see Gowland is up for it. He wants this podium. He wants his first podium.
When you see following Ben Wilson when he's riding like this, if you're in Graham Gowland's shoes right at this moment, it must look fairly dramatic right under your nose with some of Wilson's antics.
Yeah, no, it does.
Here comes Seeley. No.
I couldn't do it on that lap 9 of 10. So the penultimate lap. So, Jake, look at that. Dixon, the fastest lap in 6th spot on the Cup bike at 1:28.42. So brilliant stuff from him. And he's just a second. Look at him. He's right at the back of O'Halloran as well. You can see there, just on the back of the blue factory Honda. That is brilliant stuff from him.
So it only turned 17 on the 15th of January, this youth. And look at him, number 46. He's obviously got the genes of his dad, who was both solo Formula 1 British champion and a double sidecar world champion. Darren Dixon's boy, right there on the back wheel of Jason O'Halloran, running 5th on the blue Samsung Honda. And then there's the battle behind them. There's the battle of the triumphs going on. McConnell, Cooper, Richards nailed together. The fastest lap qualification at the moment is headed, of course, by Jatboy in black and yellow. Jake Dixon gets round the outside of O'Halloran. Wow. That was a move and a half.
It was. And look at that. At the moment, Jake Dixon would be on pole for the second part of the race. He's up into 5th spot. He's got ahead of the Samsung Honda. He's doing a lovely job. Just keep it back. He's got a lap and a bit to go. That's all. And what's happening at the front is Easton, Seeley, Wilson, Gowland, as they're about to start the last lap.
Swooping round clearways onto the Brabham Straight. We complete the 9th lap with Stuart Easton leading the way. He needs the points. He's got to beat Seeley, but Seeley's through. Seeley and the Gearlink Kawasaki snatch the advantage back. What can the little Scot do about this? Up the hill to Halewoods.
Now, clever riding there from Seeley. You could see really blocking the line off. It was a great move as well. Oh, and as they come down, now Easton's not done yet. They're both little chips, these guys. It's going to be so important to get a good drive onto the back straight here. This left-hander is...
Greg Gowland goes for the inside underneath Ben Wilson. He wants that podium place for the Seaton Tuning boys. Oh, they're absolutely nip and tuck as they go through Surtees. Now down Pilgrim's Drop. The Kawasaki gets the better drive. He's back into 3rd place. At the front, Stuart Easton had the draft on the Gearlink Kawasaki. Down the hill goes Seeley, and he's still there at the front.
He is. There's not many chances left now. So basically, he's got a little bit wide. Easton might be able to drive up the inside of him coming down into Dingledale, and he has. Easton's got up the inside.
Easton has the advantage through the Sheen curve. Now they've just got to get the goal. Oh, he's up the inside into Sterling's.
Fantastic.
He grabs it back.
He's got to go a bit wide, and Easton squares it off. It's going to be run down into clearways, Jack.
So dropping down through clearways, under the bridge, up toward 140 miles an hour, backing off, and it's the little Irishman versus the little...
Oh!
He's goes wide. The Martrain Yamaha cuts back. It's Easton who grabs a vital race win from the two Gearlink Kawasaki's. Gowland will be a disappointed fourth after a splendid race. O'Halloran snatches back fifth from Jake Dixon. Far and away the cup winner ahead of McConnell, Cooper, Richards and Luke Jones, rounding out a top 10. What a ride.
Oh, what a great last lap that was. Absolutely fantastic. Did you see Seeley at Clearways? He went a bit wide, tried to get on the power, the rear came round, but Stuart Easton did everything right there. What a move coming into Dingle Dell. That is so difficult to do, and he timed it beautifully. It was a great race. Well done, guys. Whew.
So Stuart Easton trims 5 vital points out of that 40-point lead at the top of the championship that Alistair Seeley has. This is it.
This is that move. This is Seeley up the inside. Easton squares it off here, and then look at Seeley. He just stays to the inside, forces Easton to the outside, but he's a little bit too tight here. And watch how wide he goes. Watch the leaders, and watch how wide he nearly catches go. Watch his back wheel there.
Oh.
Leaves a massive black line. That's at 100 and whatever miles an hour, and just can't quite get on the power. Easton squares it off and takes a fantastic win. His 5th win of the year.
Pretty rare mistake for Alistair Seeley, who was a 3-time Supersport race winner here back in 2011. Stuart Easton then takes a dramatic victory from Alistair Seeley. Ben Wilson third. Gowland once again has to settle for 4th place. Jason O'Halloran in 5th. Jake Dixon,
Great stuff from him.
spectacular 6th ahead of Billy McConnell, Richard Cooper and Glenn Richards on Smith's Oxford Tag and Smith's triumphs. Luke Jones on his Honda finishes in 10th place ahead of Luke Stapleford, and then Dean Brown, Bjorn Estman 2nd in the Cup ahead of Glenn Irwin, and the 3rd Cup rider is Rob Guyver. The reigning Triumph Triple Champion grabs himself 15th place and a point ahead of Nicky Coates, Dean Hipwell, Sean Winfield, the Dutch champion Stuart Voskamp and Scott Smart in 20th place. The British Supersport Championship standings then. Alistair Seeley has a 35-point advantage over Stuart Easton, who needed that victory. Ben Wilson is in 3rd place. 4th place still for Billy McConnell. A big leap up for Graham Gowland, closing the gap on McConnell with 122 points. Glenn Richards, reigning champion, is 6th on 72, 1 point ahead of Glenn Irwin after a disappointing outing for the 2nd Martrain Yamaha. Jason O'Halloran down in 8th place ahead of Jake Dixon and Richard Cooper. 11th place in the championship table for Luke Jones. The unlucky Taylor McKenzie can do it all again, hopefully without crashing next time out. He's in 12th place ahead of Luke Mossey and Scott Smart. Luke Stapleford, Dean Brown 16th ahead of Bjorn Estement and David Payton, with Sam Hornsey unlucky in that race on his Triumph debut in 19th ahead of Pauli Pekkanen.
So there we go, what a brilliant result for Stuart Easton after the downturn he suffered at Snetterton. A fine return to form for the man on Yamaha. I spoke to him after the race. These were his words. Well, we're here with our race winner, Stuart Easton. What a brilliant end for you.